What's good, podcast? Jake here, dumb as ever, with my co-host JCC2224.
Yo guys, what's up? How you doing? It's a glorious Thursday when this posts. How you doing? Are you living your life to the fullest? I hope you are.
Yeah. If you're driving, don't crash. Don't
take care of yourself. Take care of
yourself.
Come on. Do something. Come on. Do something good for yourself today.
Yeah, buy an ice cream. Buy a cream for yourself.
Yeah, go buy yourself a cream, and a Stars cream.
Stars cream.
But not the 86
Oh my god.
They'll cancel that. They'll cancel that.
That's such a great segue into that shit. I did want to mention it because, oh my god, I'm so annoyed by all that. Because I didn't put in a pre-order for SS86 Starscream, which, in case you don't know, they made a more than meets the eye figure, which is a Target exclusive subline. So
making an A-list character Target exclusive. I thought they're done with that.
I swear to God, they said that in a stream at some point. They were like, we're not going to make any of them exclusives.
Yeah, after like the Cosmos Walmart thing, I thought they were done.
Dude, even going back to like Earthrise with the Skywarp and Thundercracker 2-pack that nobody could get. Like, that was such a big deal. And now they've done the reverse with Starscream. So it's like...
It's insane.
But yeah, in case you don't know, people pre-ordered from Target, and then Target did like an insane mass pre-order cancellation. I don't know if anyone got a single Starscream from Target.
Yeah, I don't know. I pre-ordered it because I was undecided if I even wanted it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, let me go ahead. And then I found this. I got the Thundercracker, and I was like, it's okay. And then I got the Skywarp, or I saw the Skywarp in stores, and I was like, I am not going to spend the money on this. I don't want this. It didn't spark joy. No, so I'm like, I prefer the Skywarp I already have. Yeah. So I left it on the shelf, and I was about to cancel my Starscream order, and then I remembered, well, hey, Jake, I think wants this. Let me see if he got an order. And he was like, no, you're like, no, I didn't get one. Yeah. So I was like, perfect. I'll leave the order. I tried to change the shipping address to yours, and it said it was too late.
Yeah. Everything was too late.
Yeah, they just kept like, I got like 2 notifications, like your order's delayed, your order's back ordered. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But then they just canceled it. I said, cool, nice. So if I see one in stores, I'll get it for you.
So, yeah, I appreciate that. Because I doubt I'll see one in my town, which has so many collectors and stuff. But so many people got their orders canceled. One person in my Discord, Fire Convoy, who we actually met at BotCon, took a picture with him. He got his Starscream, but he pre-ordered through Pulse. So, if you pre-ordered through Pulse, I think you're probably safe. But the Target pre-orders just completely, I don't know, shit the bed. I don't know what happened. I saw some YouTube thumbnail that was like, Target's blaming Hasbro. And it's like, I'm not going to get into all this. I don't care that much. But
it's happened before. Yeah. It will happen again. I mean, I've mentioned it in the past, and it'll kind of segue into what we'll be talking about. I love McFarlane DC Multiverse, mega unpopular opinion. Yeah. But I think they're super amazing and fun, and I love them. Yeah. But the gold label exclusive year 1 Jim Gordon and Batman Walmart exclusive, I had that Batman canceled. I placed 24 orders for this Batman at different points, and they canceled every single one. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it just became a running gag at this point. I'm like, all right, attempt number 16. Yeah. Let's go.
Clocking into the pre-order factory.
Yeah, I started ordering like 2 at a time, and just like the desperate hope that I'll at least get one. But no, I ended up having to spend like $40-$50 on those each. Yeah, that's just how that one crumbled.
The CEO of Target walking around with a suspiciously gold label DC multiverse shaped belly. I don't know where they are.
I don't know where Jim Gordon went. I've got no idea. And I'll just look at him and say, "You look like, come on,
shirt now available. Been available.
Shirt now available. Mine's coming in the mail soon. I'm excited. Yeah,
I wore mine for damn near 4 days.
Bro, why would you admit that?
I don't know. I'm just joking. It's just a joke, man. I'm just
it's just around. A prank, bro. No,
I'm literally pranking.
Sloth.
But we do speaking of Hasbro failing us,
yeah.
Our topic today is a little bit loaded.
They always
a little bit
me.
Loaded, a little bit negative Nancy coded.
Yeah. Hasbro's always dropping the ball. Hasbro, more like Hasbro.
Hasbro.
Hasbro
has a tendency to start 6-inch action figure lines. And they have started a lot over the years. It's become a bit of a trend for them to start a 6-inch action figure line.
Kind of a meme.
Kind of a meme, and then cancel it a couple series in. Sometimes it gets further, like Power Rangers had quite a few waves before getting canceled and shipped off to Playmates, of all people.
Hasbro failed Power Rangers, dude.
Yes.
I feel so bad for Power Rangers fans.
As someone who doesn't even particularly like Power Rangers, I feel really, really bad for their fans, because, like, they did not deserve what Hasbro did to them. And, for the I've handled a few Lightning collection figures. They were alright. I thought they were fine, but the issue is that they'll start these lines, and then they won't follow through. So if you get invested collecting, it's almost like, well, I've got 3 of the 5 Power Ranger team now, sort of thing. Like, I'm pretty sure they left several teams unfinished. I could be wrong about that. Please correct us.
They never even started my favorite. They never even started Ninja Storm. That was my childhood.
They never did a single Ninja Storm?
They never did a single one.
Wow.
Because I would have bought them. Ninja Storm, that was my childhood.
But
I was hoping they would do like the Navy and the Crimson, and they never did.
Somehow they did a figure of Mesagog from Dino Thunder.
I don't even know who that is.
He's the main villain.
Oh.
He's a dinosaur guy. I call him Mesapog because he can make his mouth open up all goofy.
Poggers.
Poggers. Yeah. So we have a list of 6-inch figure lines to discuss today. With the main theme kind of being like, Hasbro, what are y'all doing? It's hard to say, because on one hand you're sort of like, okay, it's kind of up to market demand. If people aren't buying these figures, then obviously the line has to end. But also you have to be like, well, why do you guys take so many like chances on these different 6-inch lines? Like, why do you keep making them if they keep failing like this, sort of thing? That's kind of my mindset. I don't know. Like, I feel no excitement when I see a 6-inch figure line from Hasbro anymore, because I know
me neither.
That it's just gonna end after a few waves. Like the new Legend of Zelda line, for instance. I think those figures look pretty good. I think the Zelda one looks kind of terrible. I know that's her outfit from that game, but pick a better outfit, like a better Zelda outfit representation. Like, I don't know. That just looks like a terrible figure off rip. That one is going to shelf warm for sure. But the Ganondorf and the Link, they both look good. But I'm not excited.
Look mid at best.
You're much more hard on the actual figures.
I am very jaded for 6-inch Hasbro stuff.
Go into that.
So
tell me why, because I kind of don't even understand why you don't like them that much, besides like the creaky joints and stuff.
So for me, number one, like, I've been toy collecting ever since I was a kid. Like, Hasbro, when I was younger in the mid 2000s and everything, Hasbro was not a 6-inch action figure company. They were not. And they really didn't start that until they took over Marvel Legends from Toy Biz. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, well, we've got Marvel Legends now. Let's try this. Oh, we're fumbling. Oh, we're failing. Oh, we're just going to give up on it. And we're going to do Marvel Universe. 3 3/4
Marvel
inch.
Universe,
that's what we
was
know.
Epic. That was my line growing up for Marvel. I love Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I collected a lot of those 3 3/4 inch Iron Mans, and they're cool. But after a while, like, people were demanding Marvel Legends to come back. Mm-hmm. And they're like, all right, fine, we guess we'll do them. And they actually were doing a pretty good job. And it was starting to take off. It was starting to be like this pretty popular toy line again. And there's definitely a lot of duds at the start. There's a lot of duds. But like with Build-A-Figures and unique, interesting waves, like Hasbro was starting to really kind of like get their footing with 6-inch. And it was new and exciting. Yeah. And then, obviously Disney owns Marvel. So Disney saw the success of the 6-inch line, and then after they bought Star Wars, coincidentally, after that happened, Star Wars started doing 6-inch figures.
Yeah.
Pretty much seemingly replicating the success of Marvel Legends.
And dude, I was definitely
so hyped. If you go back to my channel from like 2013, you see videos of me like getting those first freaking Black Series figures, and I was so hyped. I had every single release for the first few years of the line.
Wow.
I had everything. And after a while, I just looked at them and I'm like at first it was cool and exciting. Like the first one I ever got was a Sand Trooper. And I was like, dude, double joints and all this paint wash. And it came with so many different weapons and accessories. I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. And then they started, going back and stripping away all those accessories and minimizing the articulation. And the paint quality started getting really, really bad. Like they were 2014, 2015 Hasbro 6-inch figures. I don't know how well you remember those, but they were freaking ugly, dude. Like it was like pre-face printing. They looked terrible.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so that was when I was kind of like, why am I getting 6-inch Star Wars when I have all these 3 3/4-inch ones? Like, why am I buying the same things like 2-3 inches taller? Mm-hmm. So I dipped. I sold them all. I got rid of them all, and I just stuck with the Clone Troopers and a select few favorites, and those favorites kept dwindling and dwindling. I used to have like a little Imperial collection. I had like the main cast of characters, and I slowly but surely got rid of those. And now outside of the clones and like characters that are accessories to the clones, I only have like maybe 10 Black Series figures.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, the reason why I'm so jaded with Hasbro 6-inch stuff is because it just all kind of feels the same and it's all samey. Mm-hmm. Like they did a lot of innovating and then they just kind of stopped and it just became so stagnant and I stopped getting excited. They kept cutting corners. They kept raising the prices. Marvel Legends ditched Build-A-Figures and instead kept the same price and sold you the Build-A-Figure in a separate box.
Is that how it is now? There's just no Build-A-Figure pieces ever?
So they still do them rarely. But Build-A-Figures, they were like, dude, we'll get more money if we sell the BAF separate. So that's what they do now. They literally did that for Spider-Man, like Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh.
Yeah, for, what was it, the Cyborg Spider-Woman.
Oh,
that was literally going to be the Build-A-Figure.
Really?
Yes, and it pops apart like a Build-A-Figure. And they stripped it out. They put them all on card backs to make them special and interesting.
Yeah.
And they sold the Spider-Woman separate. I just started getting tired of the business practices. I got tired of how they felt because a lot of them were like the pins. A lot of people say action figures with pins are bad. No, Hasbro action figures with pins were bad because those pins, like the joints were super gummy and they would just flop around and they would like the legs would like warp and bend to a different direction. And then they started doing the pinless and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. They look better. And then you start trying to move these pinless figures and a lot of them you got to crank on those knee joints and you got to heat them up and you got to bend straight. Like you're bending it like a freaking glow stick trying to get this thing to loosen up.
Yeah.
I mean, they are objectively good action figures. They're objectively good.
Yeah, they have good articulation, good sculpting. Like it's hard to say they're terrible. Like I don't think we're saying bad.
They're not bad figures. They're boring.
I think the main point is that there's been a homogenization and like they've picked apart these lines to make them as expensive as they reasonably can be without people freaking out, and also giving you as little as humanly possible for the price.
It's crazy. I feel like it's like your favorite food. Like, say you love Domino's pizza.
Sure.
And you get it a lot. And after a while, you're getting burnt out. You're like, I don't want Domino's pizza right now because it's all the same. It doesn't change. And it might have some different toppings on there, but you've tried all the toppings.
Yeah.
And now once you've gotten your, 20th Spider-Man, this one's finally the definitive one, guys. Then you're just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, how many different Spider-Mans do we need to be the new ultimate best one? And then you have like gourmet Italian pizza places like Mayfex and everything making these like super amazing Spider-Mans that are $100 that everyone is saying, oh, Marvel Legends sucks. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I feel like a lot of 6-inch action figure collectors can never be happy. They will look at like figures that came out like 5 years ago and they're like, oh, we need an update of that. That one's got pins. We need an update of that. Like, are you really spending $28 on that exact same character that's a freaking nobody just without pins? Are you for real? Like, I don't know. It again, I'm not knocking people that enjoy 6-inch action figures. And that statement I made almost insinuates that like everyone that collects 6-inch is just people that aren't happy with what they have and they're waiting for the next upgrade.
I think we definitely also have a lens of being content creators online, so we're subjected to seeing like other content creators' opinions and stuff.
So, and I try not to watch a lot. I try to just stay in my own little sphere. Number one, to not like influence my own opinions on toys. But number two, like there's a time where I loved watching YouTubers of hobbies that I wasn't directly involved with. And then I started kind of getting involved. Like, shout out to Glenn Webb. I wouldn't care about Marvel Legends at all if it wasn't for Glenn Webb.
Legend.
Absolute legend. Yeah. And absolute tragedy. Such a great channel. Seriously, check it out, even after all these years. Mm-hmm. So much love, passion, and just positive vibes coming from that channel. And I think that was when 6-inch action figures were still exciting, at least a little bit. And then it started just because they were still making characters that like they hadn't made yet. It's like, dude, we're finally getting Juggernaut. Dude, we're finally getting this. Now it's like, oh, we're on our 5th Juggernaut, and this one costs $60 now. It's like, dude.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate.
I'm stepping off my soapbox.
Yeah, let me play devil's advocate here for a second. And we actually do have a community post we made where we asked people, is Hasbro washed? And we got a bunch of responses. Some of them are, going against the idea that they're washed, and I'll read out some of those, counter viewpoints. I don't want it to be an echo chamber here. We're not definitively right. This is just our opinion, all right, guys?
Oh, no.
So don't freak out in the comments.
If people love 6-inch Hasbro stuff, like, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you can enjoy this still. Yeah. But for me, it's just not what I seek in toy collecting. Because I'm a toy collector before I'm an action figure collector. So that's where I stand on it. But I want to see some of these opinions.
Okay. But before that, when you were talking about the Domino's pizza thing, I thought of that scene from Toy Story where it's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. Except instead of dropping Woody, he just drops a full pizza onto the floor. But besides that,
the good mental image. Fan art. Someone make fan art.
Yeah. The stupidest fan art possible. What's that even got to do with us?
Just a Photoshop of Andy dropping pizza on the floor. That's all I need.
So, okay, let's go back to that Domino's metaphor. Isn't it, like, sort of in the consumer's court to just not continue buying the pizza over and over? Like, you're talking about, like, the 50th Spider-Man. Okay, that's true. They make a lot of Spider-Man, but also, you don't gotta buy every Spider-Man. You could enjoy Marvel Legends without consuming every single, aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're getting bored of the series, like, is that really Marvel Legends' fault, or is that more just you are changing as a collector? Like, what's Marvel Legends to do? Because, there's, like, so many characters, but only a few particular ones really sell well. Spider-Man sells well. If we go over to DC, Batman sells well. People call DC multiverse like Batman Multiverse because it's so many Batmen. Like, it goes both ways. And in my mind, that's kind of just how it has to work. Like, yeah, they made a new Juggernaut, a 5th Juggernaut or whatever, but Juggernaut sells. Why wouldn't they make a new Juggernaut? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah. I mean, they definitely have to keep making new stuff. And I definitely feel like for me, like, I have changed as a collector. Like, my definitive Spider-Man is the Renew Your Vows 2-pack one. Okay. And I did a head swap to give it a mask that was more, like, 90s inspired. That's my definitive 6-inch Spider-Man. I don't need the maximum one. I don't need this. I don't need that. But I think where it becomes an issue is where Hasbro is starting to, like, try to make their old products totally, like, invalid by comparison. And a lot of collectors are, like, I feel like I said with the whole 6-inch thing of, like, replacing it with the new latest, greatest one.
Sure.
I think that would be fine if they weren't charging $50, $60 for the latest, greatest one. When it's not even latest and greatest. Like, the Maximum Hulk, they have left so much room for that to be improved with another Hulk that will cost $80 down the line.
Yeah.
Like, that's
the Maximum series is egregious.
Yes. And I feel like, again, like, say, McFarlane with Batman. I love that line. I have a whole shelf. I have 2 shelves, actually, just full of different versions of Batman. But that's the thing. Different. They're different versions of Batman. Like, this is from this storyline specifically. This is from that comic. This is from that movie. This is from that artist. And I love collecting the history of the character. And I feel like Hasbro, for some things, like, dude, if you collect, like, Spider-Verse stuff, they've done so many awesome Spidey variants. And they still continue to do that. I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's awesome. But when you're stripping away the Build-A-Figure and still charging the same price, when you're remaking things at ludicrous prices that aren't even that big of an upgrade from the previous version, and when it's just like making old versions absolutely defunct, and they're actively making stuff knowing that they'll probably make a better one down the road. Yeah. It just, I don't know, obviously that's how business works. They literally do not make refrigerators as solid as they could. So they break down and people need to buy a new refrigerator. Yeah. Because if refrigerator companies if they made them as good as they used to be, like back in the 50s and everything, a family, a whole generation, I'd say like 2 or 3 generations could go with one refrigerator. But since they make them crap, then, one person probably goes through half a dozen refrigerators in their life. Yeah. It's the same for these action figures, and like it's scummy, but that's business and that's how it works. But it doesn't mean I have to like it. You know?
Of course.
It doesn't mean I have to like it.
I don't like it.
I've seen what Hasbro does. I've seen what their business model is.
All the stuff you're describing is stuff they do in Transformers as well. Like,
yeah, and that's why I'm dipping with that too.
They absolutely do that.
At the start of the stream, I said I don't want the new Starscream because I am happy with the one I have. I'm done feeding into this. I did a whole video on it ages ago. I think it was from my like Taking Toys Too Seriously series, where. And I feel like this podcast has essentially replaced it, and it's kind of funny. But, like, I did a whole video talking about Hasbro's upgrade culture, where, like, you have to get the latest, greatest version. Oh, this one doesn't have this thing anymore. And, like, dude, 86 Optimus Prime was designed to have so many flaws to sell us a better Prime down the road. I swear.
Yeah,
like,
I believe
they will make one that is better.
Yeah.
Like, they will. That's business. I don't agree with it, but that's business. They don't want to make a definitive thing because if they make it, then they can't sell you another one. So, yeah, that's where I stand on that. It's, again, I miss when toys are just like, oh, here's a super awesome toy. We made it as cool as we could. Awesome, great, thanks. Let me buy it. And then it that's the one that exists. If you want to go back and back collect it, it might be a bit more expensive, but it's fun. It's fun hunting for it. It's fun seeking it out. I feel like that's just not a thing with Hasbro anymore. Like, they got to remake stuff so much, and it's so much more expensive. Like, I feel like a lot of people avoid the price topic with Hasbro right now because it is.
Well, do you think? I think that's the main point of discussion often.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of people want to avoid it though because it is so over-talked and so.
Yeah, it's a bit.
I don't think a single person.
Like, yeah, we all know it's overpriced.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think anybody buys a figure nowadays and they're like, "That was a good value. That was a good price."
No, I feel bad every time I buy a figure, especially a Voyager class Transformer. Feels like a punch to the gut.
I've only bought one. I've only bought one Voyager for $43 so far, and that was Thundercracker, and it felt like a punch in the gut.
Yeah,
like I will
as much as I enjoy those, I know you're not too super into it, but I really enjoy those figures, and it still feels awful because the price hike for Voyagers, especially, was so high,
insane,
like $5 difference or something like that, if not more. Like, and the other ones were, I think Deluxe went to like 25 to 27. Like 28 or something, and Leader went to 60. So they were kind of close, but the Voyager went up so much comparatively. It just, feels
not
disgusting.
Cool. Every Transformer is more than twice as much as it was when I started collecting in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
And obviously prices are going to go up. That's just how economy works, inflation. We're adults. We can acknowledge that, there is real world factors going into these toys being made. You can also factor in the tariffs, but I don't believe that every single cent they've added to these prices has anything to do with tariffs. I think they are on a come up. There's more collectors than ever right now. They know that they can charge these prices, and there will be at least enough people that are willing to pay that price to buy them, which is, again, it's supply and demand, right? Like, that's how it works, but it doesn't make it any less scummy, any less, like, collector, what's the word? Like,
not consumer friendly.
Yeah, not consumer friendly. It's like just price gouging at a certain point. Yeah, so on the community post, I'm going to read a few of these, because I think we've kind of set our piece here. We do have a list of 6-inch lines that they've started.
Yeah, we're going to move on to those soon.
Yeah, and we'll get to those. But Neil Reviews commented, they still make pretty cool stuff. Pricing is the main issue. And yeah, I think that's the root of most of the issues here, is like, even if the figures are sort of, homogenized and not as interesting anymore, they're still fine action figures. They're still fun. Like, if you want a Spider-Man, a Marvel Legend is not a bad way to go to have a highly posable Spider-Man toy. It's just they have made them $30 for a 6-inch action figure.
I mean, I still collect the 6-inch. The only Hasbro 6-inch stuff I still regularly collect are the Black Series Clone Troopers. Uh-huh. And pretty much everyone I get, I think they're cool. Like, I just got the hard case and Dogma set, and I love those. Like, they still make good stuff. It is largely that price that makes it very hard to justify. I feel like anybody outside of the collecting sphere, where we have normalized these prices in our heads, would look at this and be like, dude, even I've done it as a collector. Like, I picked up a freaking Super 7 Lion-O in Walmart. It was in the clearance aisle, and I was like, $40 for this? Are you serious? Mm-hmm. And it seriously looked like a figure that would have been like $20 like 15 years ago. Like, $20 5 years ago. Not even 15. And Super 7's a whole other... I'm not even going to get into that.
Yeah, we already had a crash out about that last episode.
Yeah.
Shin Kato says, the hater in me says yes to Hasbro being washed. But being realistic, Hasbro is in a level of slop where they just barely have their head above water. Like, occasionally they release bangers, but their business practices, them being stingy with toy budgets, investors, etc., it feels like a facade of a company selling me stuff I should like, but I only personally like it about 20 or below % of the time. So they're saying, I
feel that. I fully feel that.
I totally understand what they're saying there. Yeah, that definitely feels EU-coded.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's a slop factory a little bit. That is a good point. It's kind of toy slop. That should have been the damn podcast title.
Toy slop.
Yeah. The Commander the Command R official, I do appreciate how they've been really leaning into their enthusiast audience with a lot of obscure Marvel and Star Wars characters getting new figures recently. That being said, I haven't really experienced any improvements that are drastic enough to justify the price increases, so I mostly just collect loose figures these days. Yeah, that is the strat, collecting secondhand loose stuff. If you have a toy store, like a toy shop near you, not like a Toys R Us, but like a secondhand toy store, like that has, what is the word I'm looking for? Is there a special word for that?
Like that has like secondhand aftermarket.
Yeah, like loose figures and stuff like that. Like that's a strat, because you can usually find that stuff way cheaper out of box. Like for some reason, the box increases the price like 50%. So if you find a Marvel Legends loose, it's usually like $15, depending obviously on the character.
For the most part. There's always a few that are rare.
Yeah. But I definitely agree. Like collecting loose, collecting out of box, that's a strat. You don't. I think some people have in their head like, I need to get it brand new. And you really don't. You really don't need a toy that's brand new, especially if you're worried about cost. Like, you could get way more stuff with the same amount of money getting it secondhand. The pricing has gotten totally ridiculous. Their designers are very clearly talented, but they keep introducing them to more limitations with budget cuts while increasing prices, which blows major ass, says Soup Bugs. Good name. I have nothing against anyone that does design for Hasbro. Never have, never will. But yeah, it's corporate. It's corporate fucking greediness.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Like, I didn't, like, all my bashing, I didn't talk about, like, the design of the figures. I did talk about how, like, they don't really innovate anymore.
Yeah.
And they're all just kind of samey. Mm-hmm. Because they don't really branch out beyond what they normally do. But I didn't talk about, like, parts reusage and, repaints and stuff like that. Because, dude, that has been a part of the toy industry since the dawn of the toy industry.
Yeah.
It is not a bad thing to reuse parts, to rehash
look at
stuff.
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, like, to put out exclusives and different decos. Like, that is how the toy industry works. And I love that part of the toy industry. Mm. That's a part of the reason why I love McFarlane so much, because they do a lot of that rehashing and new heads and different paint jobs and, this exclusive variant and like, oh, here's this new head that's a totally like obscure version of Batman from the comic books. It's like, dude, that's really cool. I would have never expected to get a figure of that. Like, it's a fun way to collect, but I think the reason why for Hasbro it's so like frustrating is because they, especially with the pinless thing, like they have expressed so much like, yeah, we're all pinless now, and then something that very clearly like the Maximum Hulk, the fact that those legs still have pins, like that is by default not Maximum, because again, Hasbro figures with the pins feel like trash. They're gummy trash. I still have a couple versions of the Bucky cap mold where like I can literally bend the elbows sideways. It is that gummy.
Bruh.
Like, it's a whole different level of like quality when it comes to Hasbro's inconsistencies sometimes. But like head sculpts, like, dude, I was just admiring a Gamerverse Iron Man I have that's like in a blue armor, and the head sculpt on that is gorgeous. Like, Hasbro makes great stuff, and with their face printing tech, the faces look great.
Yeah,
their
if
Marvel
they ever do like
figures look good.
A like human character, or like even an actor, like it always looks so good. It looks just like them. Which I've seen some other toy companies struggle with sometimes.
I mean, that's one thing. I'll give it to the McFarlane haters. Sometimes the likenesses are not good. Like, I will give that to them. I will give that. But then some are bang on, like the Christopher Walken, the Maxwell Shrek from Batman Returns. Oh, stunning likeness.
Eternity Kingdom's head honcho is going against this idea, going against Hasbro being washed. I'm going to be bold enough to argue for no. The design teams are trying their best within the parameters given to them by Hasbro Corporate. But as the last 2 years have shown, that's not always enough. Sometimes corporate pressure and limited budgeting forces them to sacrifice a few lambs, and those lambs sometimes end up being characters we wanted them to do right. Throw in unexpected factors like the failure of Transformers 1, which I assume that the Generations team intended Age of the Primes to piggyback on, so they could justify devoting full 2 years to what amount to the bad guys from the second Bayverse film.
Yeah, it was no coincidence that they did Age of the Primes at the same time as a movie that featured all of the Primes. That was not a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, they're always trying to do like synergy and stuff. That's a corporate's favorite word for a long time.
Brand synergy.
Yeah. A big Optimus and 11 glup shittos to the retailers and shareholders. You have a Hasbro full of creative people stifled by corporate greed, desperate to survive another year. Well, yeah, that's kind of what we're saying, right? Like, it's not really like the figures are good to fine, in my opinion, mostly. I'm sure there's some duds, like, obviously, but like, the design team in general, I think, does what they can. It's like, it is literally just the corporate offices being like, I'd actually like another $1 million on my bonus, actually. So we're going to cut that and cut this and cut this. So like,
whoever at corporate decided to do the freaking A-level stuff. Oh my God. I'm sick and tired of seeing Endgame Captain America and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and Iron Man Mark III and Orion Pax and Bumblebee and Mandalorian. I'm sick of seeing them.
Face value, that's not a bad idea. Face value, having a Mandalorian or a Spider-Man always available is not a bad idea.
But when it's the only thing available.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing, though. Like, that's distribution. That's a whole another issue with Hasbro, is that their distribution to brick and mortar stores is maybe some of the worst ever on planet Earth. And it's crazy because if you go to, like, I mean, obviously Singapore is much smaller than the United States, but you go to Singapore and they have, like, these stores filled to the brim with all these Transformers. Like, you can easily go and get an SS86 Starscream in Singapore if you want. It's just in a random store, there's like 10 of them just sitting there. Like, that's how it goes for that country. And in the US, I don't know, maybe Canada. I feel like people find stuff in Canada pretty easily. But in the US, our distribution is just ass. Ass from a butt. Poop from a butt. It's terrible. So, like, yes, I understand it's annoying to see those A-level things, but that isn't a bad idea on the face. Like, I don't think that's like one of their least bad ideas they have had. The bad part of it comes from their terrible distribution for every single other thing.
So it's a good idea to have those characters always available. Like, say, look at Jakks Pacific and their Sonic line.
Yeah.
You can walk into literally any store and find a Sonic the Hedgehog action figure.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's good. But you will also find a lot of these other characters that you're looking for. And how they do it, they will pack a Sonic in every wave.
Yeah.
Every wave will have a Sonic.
I think that's kind of... I don't like that, personally. I think that just, like, 1/4 of every new wave is a Sonic, and I think that sucks, because then you end up with the same problem. A glut of Sonics on the shelves. Whenever I see Sonics, not in my area, I'll see Sonics and only Sonic on the shelf. 5 of them, just on the pegs, but no other character. And it means... that extra Sonic means either they can't pack in another copy of a different character, or they can't put in a new character to go in the line. To me, I think that's just as bad, if not worse, than the A-level stuff. Because to me, that takes away from a regular
I think the perfect balance would be what Hasbro did for Star Wars back around like 2007 to 2009.
Uh-huh.
They did a subline called Saga Legends. And this is a line that was totally separate. And they kind of tried to bring this back with the Archive line for Black Series that totally failed because they picked trash characters. But for the Saga Legends line, where, like, this wave, you're going to get Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jango Fett, Clone Trooper, Stormtrooper, Battle Droid. Characters that you always want on the shelves. And it was a totally separate peg, totally separate SKU from the main line. I think that would probably be what would be successful. And to have more variety than literally just 2 figures that are available throughout the entire freaking year.
Yeah, I think the entire year is kind of a bad idea. Like, they should at least switch it mid-year. Cap's
been out for like 3 years, dude. I swear.
Yeah. I see those Marvel Legends every time I go to the store.
Yeah, like, they don't... Like, the A-level idea, like, it's just so... I don't find normal Marvel Legends in stores. It's literally... The only ones I ever see are the A-level.
Yeah.
That's literally all I ever see.
Same.
So, and there was a time, like, I kept track when Legends came back. I found every single Marvel Legends in store for probably the first, like, 5 or 6 years of the return of Marvel Legends. And then they just started, that's when Hasbro distribution started dropping the ball even further.
Yeah, the distribution is terrible. And like I said before, collecting is so big. Like, COVID, like with many hobbies, exploded toy collecting. So, like, that's obviously simmered down a bit over, the 6 years or whatever since COVID happened, but, like, there's still a lot more toy collectors than there was 10 years ago. And
for sure.
I don't think distribution has changed to meet that demand at all, and I think it's kind of gotten worse, if anything. So, yeah. But thank you to everyone that commented on the community posts. If you want to participate in a future one, just check our community tab on the YouTube channel, like Saturday or Sunday, and that's usually when I'll post a question. And I repost it to my main YouTube channel. So, but we should talk. Before we get into, like, all the failed 6-inch lines, I do want to mention that I think G.I. Joe is probably their strongest 6-inch line, like, overall. I feel like it's creative. It harkens back to G.I. Joe in a cool way. They do like the...
they do.
I knew you were gonna... I knew I couldn't get past... Nothing gets past you, man.
Nope. Gotta watch your back.
They do, like, the retro series as well, where they have their classic costumes, which look really cool. I feel like out of every 6-inch series, I'm always surprised that G.I. Joe is still around, and I'm happy it is. And you dropped a truth nuke on me regarding G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
So I want you to, regale that.
So number 1, G.I. Joe Classified. Totally agree. It's amazing. I'm super selective with the ones I buy. I only buy characters that are very deep and meaningful to me because it makes the figure that much freaking cooler. Yeah. I just got Overkill, which is the leader of the Cobra Bats. He's like a cybernetic guy. He's pretty much General Grievous of G.I. Joe. Yeah. And this figure is so freaking sick. It did have the issue where I had to heat up and, like, bend and straighten the knees over and over because they were so tight. But once I loosened them up, I'm like, wow, this thing's so fun, so great. But I'm happy that Hasbro has finally gotten faith that G.I. Joe can last in retail without a movie. Because G.I. Joe, they were around... G.I. Joe pretty much never left stores for the longest time. Yeah. It just kind of existed in the early 2000s with G.I. Joe vs. Cobra, Spy Troops, and Valor vs. Venom, which was my literal childhood favorite toy line ever. Yeah. I played with those so much. And then for the anniversary, the 25th, they did all their anniversary figures after that. And then Rise of Cobra came out, and that movie did pretty well, and the toy line did pretty well. And so they're like, heck yeah, let's keep this going. Let's do Pursuit of Cobra. Let's do the 30th anniversary collection. Like, it was awesome. And then Retaliation was supposed to come out in 2012, and it got delayed a whole year. And it threw everything off. Like, the first wave of Retaliation was put out, and that was it. We were like, wait, this movie got delayed? What's going to happen? And the toys, I guess, just sat in a warehouse for a year. Yeah. And the movie finally came out, and the toy line did okay. It was a good toy line. It was a lot of good stuff. But I think with how that movie didn't do the greatest and how the toy line didn't do the greatest, Hasbro seemingly lost faith in G.I. Joe sustaining itself without a movie. The toy line went to Toys R Us exclusive. And that was a cool little toy line. They did these awesome 2-packs, and they brought out a lot of canceled figures. Mm-hmm. Like figures that were going to be in previous lines that they canceled. They brought them back for that Toys R Us line. That was sick. And then that toy line just, poof, gone. And G.I. Joe, for the first time in pretty much forever, was not in stores anymore. Because Hasbro, like I said, seemingly had no faith in it lasting without a movie. So then 2012 came along, not 2012, 2020 came along, and the Snake Eyes movie. Oh my gosh, a new G.I. Joe movie. Quick.
Everyone's excited. No one thought it was going to be terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Then Hasbro's like, quick, what are we going to do? 6-inch, because that's what we do now. Marvel Legends, Black Series. Now we're going to do G.I. Joe Classified. We're going to kick this off. New movies coming out. Movie gets delayed a year. Again.
Yeah.
And because of COVID, obviously. But the toy line actually was really freaking cool. And people were really piquing their interest in it.
I bought that whole first wave of Classified when it came out. I thought they were so sick.
I literally waited in line in front of Target to get the Target exclusive freaking Cobra Island beachhead.
That's what killed the line. I mean, just right away, I want to say I bought that first wave. I was really happy I got those figures. I thought they were awesome. And then the line immediately got too popular. Again, it was COVID, so people were way into stuff they probably wouldn't have been into otherwise. But it became impossible to find any classified stuff. I got lucky. I found the first wave, quite frankly.
Dude, I wish I could find
real toy hunting.
I wish I could find the news article. Some dude seriously stole G.I. Joe Classified Wave 1 from a Walmart, and you can literally he's wrestling with the dude in the front, the asset protection, and you see him running off with a bag of Classified. I can't find the news article again, but that happened. I remember that vividly.
That's crazy.
But the crazy thing is, G.I. Joe Classified started to have some hurdles with the line because they were making key characters Target exclusive. Cobra Trooper, Cobra Viper, Beachhead. These are A-listers for G.I. Joe. Yeah. And I think they were making them Target exclusive because they didn't anticipate the line lasting for too long. That's pure speculation because this line, it seemed like it was going to be a tie-in to the Snake Eyes movie. And then sure enough, 2021 comes along and the Snake Eyes movie wave comes out. And dude, those figures freaking bombed just like the movie. You could find those Snake Eyes Classified figures for $5 each.
I think we mentioned them last episode. The Storm Shadow looks pre-yellowed. He's a stark white character generally, and he has that weird yellowish white look that the plastic on Transformers 1 Optimus Prime has. I don't know.
Yeah, and then
why
there's that random ninja lady that wasn't even Jinx or any recognizable character from the franchise.
Yeah, I forget who that was meant to be.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but they
figure had Scarlet and then Black Widow or Black Widow. What's her Baroness?
Yeah. That whole wave just tanked. Yeah. And I feel like the future of Classified was probably on the verge of just dying after that. But I think they were able to bounce back because they just kept the hype going.
I mean, that first 2020 waves were so popular. I feel like that movie, it flopped so bad and the toys also flopped, but it kind of seemed like the rest of Classified just kept chugging on without even blinking.
Yeah, because they were awesome.
Yeah, people were just so into them right away. People were getting into G.I. Joe for the first time because of them. It almost had a Masterverse, Motu effect. Or that probably was before Masterverse even. I can't quite remember, but
it was before Masterverse, but I think Motu Origins was around the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, 2021 I think it started. So yeah, the fact that they were kind of banking on this movie and the movie was a fart in the wind compared to the actual toy line just says so much about Hasbro's corporate mentality. Because it's like you say, Retaliation failed, and then they were like, oh my god. Like, one failure scares them off of success. It's like, sometimes you gotta take an L to realize, like, what the proper path forward is. And what they should have done is just kept on making cool G.I. Joe toys after Retaliation failed. You know, come up with something new, you know. And, by the way, I'm not super into G.I. Joe Classified because it's not the right scale for me. G.I. Joe is a 3 3/4 inch toy to me. Always has been. The Classified stuff is awesome. Like, the sculpting's amazing. I love the designs. But I don't want those characters in that scale. So I've never really collected it much past that first wave.
So the interesting thing about G.I. Joe and scale is that they have always followed the popular trend. Always.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So the original 12-inch G.I. Joes were following Barbie, wanting to be dolls for boys.
Yeah.
And then the 80s Joes were following Star Wars, wanting 3 3/4 inch. And then in the 90s, they did G.I. Joe Extreme, which was following like all the big buff superhero stuff that Toy Biz and Kenner were doing.
G.I. Joe Extreme.
Yeah. And then they did Sigma 6, which I love Sigma 6 so much.
Those were like 12-inch figures, weren't they?
They were like 9, 10 inch.
Really?
Yeah, those were kind of just following
I thought
like
those were
larger
weird
action figures. I loved them, dude. They reminded me of like what if G.I. Joes looked like small soldiers.
That makes sense. Yeah, I can see that totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've got a Duke Min in box, and oh, dude, it's so sick. But then with Classified, they're following 6-inch. Like G.I. Joe's always followed the trend, interestingly. Yeah. So, I mean, I think G.I. Joe, like, it's cool how it can adapt and how it can change. And I do think, like, I don't think G.I. Joe has, like, a pure core scale, because I also love 12-inch Joes. But
you gotta admit that Real American Hero 3 3/4 inch is...
That's what got it really popular.
The classic one. Like, when you think of G.I. Joe, you think of those figures. Like,
yeah, that's what's iconic.
I grew up collecting Rise of Cobra, which was in that scale. And I fell in love with G.I. Joe through
Valor vs. Venom were 3 3/4 inch. I don't know. I think it's adapted pretty well to 6-inch. Like,
I think the figures are great.
For the most part,
it's just not for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super selective with the ones I get. And I'm happy that I am.
Like, I want to be able to collect so many that I can... Like, I want to be able to have a whole war on my shelf. And you can have, at most, a battle with the Classified series on your shelf. You know, you can't have, like, a proper... like. And the vehicles... I think one of the biggest issues with the 6-inch line is that the vehicles have to be massive. So, yeah, it's awesome. Like, his tank is cool as hell. But they are crazy expensive. You know, that's a HasLab, first of all. And second of all, they're huge. They take up so much shelf space. So it's like, yeah, they're making these super awesome, like, jets and stuff, and Firefly and all that, but, like, they're so big. Like, reasonably, unless you're, like, mainly a G.I. Joe collector, like, I don't know who has the space for this besides, like, you know, the 50-year-old Gen Xers or whatever that love G.I. Joe. But yeah, I think that's... I just want them to do 3 3/4 inch again. They just gave up on it a long time ago, and they put out that Tron HasLab that flopped incredibly hard. And they're like, well, I guess nobody cares about 3 3/4 inch, when it's like, bruh, you set it up to fail. You put out a ridiculously priced HasLab with the figures out of the scale most people collect nowadays and expected it to succeed, ? Or like I don't know. It just drives me crazy the way they do things, because it's like, why would you base the potential success of 3 3/4 inch figures off of a HasLab? Like,
yeah,
what sense does that make? That pissed me off so bad. So yeah, but I guess we should, you know, go over some of these 6-inch lines that have started and ended.
Yeah, because G.I. Joe was a success story.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many failures.
So many. So, I mean, we already talked about it. Power Rangers Lightning Collection. I'd say that...
Dude.
I wouldn't say that was a complete failure. It went on for a very long time. Like, at least 5 years, I want to say, they were doing those figures. And
they were good figures. I got a few of them. They're cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're standard 6-inch Hasbro stuff. Like, all this stuff is very
likenesses.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, I'm sure that wasn't too difficult. I'm sure the Power Rangers actors aren't too much of the. If I'm a Power Rangers actor and someone's like, "You want to be an action figure?" I'm like, "Oh my god, yes, please remember me." But the yeah, that line is weird because like they did a lot of figures, but also I mainly remember it for a ton of shelf warmers. I feel like distribution was a big issue on that line as well, even way back when. And Hasbro gave up on Power Rangers. There's a story, the old CEO who passed away a few years ago. I think he was really rooting for Star Wars. He got the license from whoever, and they started this Power Rangers line. And the story I always hear is that a lot of the executives don't like Power Rangers, didn't want to do Power Rangers. It was this one CEO guy sort of gunning for it. And when he passed away and Chris Cox, the best CEO of all time, came into power, they were like, we're knocking this shit off. We don't like Power Rangers. Get it out of here. And they shipped it off to Playmates. They're like second party licensing it to Playmates. It's weird. Hasbro owns a license, but they're letting Playmates use it to make toys. They've done that with a few things. So it's weird. It's really weird. And again, I feel for Power Rangers collectors. I also feel like they kind of never did a proper Zord for the 6-inch line. Like, the Zords would have to be massive, but I mean, it would be pretty cool if they made like a 6-inch scale Zord line where you could like actually put your Power Ranger into the Zord and build it. Like, how cool would that be?
That would be insane.
Yeah, that would have to be like a HasLab or something, but I think people would go for, I mean, especially the original Megazord, like, come on, man. That I feel like that would be easy money, but yeah, I think it's really weird how the Power Rangers thing went down. But
and it's a shame. It's a real shame.
Yeah, for sure. And Power Rangers is weird because like that brand is so dead. Like, there's no new stuff going on for it. Even the Playmate stuff is just rehashing.
Even Super Sentai's done. They replaced it with, like, the Project Red or whatever?
Yeah, yes, very good. They replaced it with Project Red. Super Sentai is on hiatus, so it's like Power Rangers has never been more sort of stagnant. If there is apparently going to be a Disney Plus Power Rangers reboot, is what I think the last news I heard was. So I guess we'll see how that goes, but...
A reboot on streaming, that's always successful.
Yeah. But we have a list here of so many 6-inch lines that had only a few waves, really, before being killed off. So, first thing we have is Ghostbusters Plasma Series. Ghostbusters is weird because I feel like they were going to hit a wall no matter what. And I do feel like they probably made all the characters they should have made. Like, have you ever
Especially
seen
with that HasLab, they like did the costumes from the second movie.
Yeah. So that one's weird because I feel like they more or less completed that line in a way. Like, at a certain point, you're getting into like such niche side characters. It's like, who's gonna buy this stuff? And I think they did bring it back for like I don't know if they brought it back for Frozen Empire, but I think they did bring it back for the like 20 whatever reboot of the series that had a kid named Podcast in it. I didn't watch the movie. I just know there's a character called Podcast, which is
we're in a podcast right now.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think they still have the license for Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they definitely do because they've done the Ecto Pack recently. Like, they did the HasLab Ecto Pack and then they just like released that same thing by itself, like not a HasLab sort of thing. It was weird, but Ghostbusters, I'll give it a pass on that one. Out of all these, I feel like they kind of get a pass for that one. Like, I think they did all they needed to do. Like, do you agree? Like, is there anything else they should have done? Like,
because I think ultimately, like, some of these brands are just not evergreen. No. And that's the term that like they use for brands that can just stay on shelves, like Cars and Toy Story. Like, those are evergreen. You're always going to see those even when there's not a movie. Yeah. And Hasbro was like, our evergreen brands, we're always going to have Star Wars toys, we're always going to have Marvel, we're always going to have Transformers. G.I. Joe was not a part of that. After Retaliation, they dipped it as an evergreen brand. And now it's evergreen, which is awesome. And Motu's trying to, that wasn't evergreen for a while, and now they've kept it evergreen. And some brands, kids aren't going to always be wanting to go to a Target to buy a freaking Ghostbuster. It's just not an evergreen thing.
That was not for kids, bro.
Yeah.
This line was not for kids. I don't know.
The only kids I've ever known that are into Ghostbusters are in it because their middle-aged dads are into it.
Right, yeah.
Those are your only young Ghostbusters fans.
But yeah, Ghostbusters, okay, I give it a pass. Dungeons and Dragons was really weird because it had 2 6-inch lines that kind of released at the same time. Yeah. One was for that movie that came out. I don't remember the movie title, but I watched it and I liked it.
Honor Among Thieves, I think.
Honor Among Thieves, yeah, that's it. It had
I haven't even seen it. I remembered that.
Yeah.
Got him.
It had Chris Pine as the main character. It was good. That line, I think it lasted 1 wave, maybe. I don't think it made it past 1 wave. And then they also had a line based around the cartoon from the 80s, which had a bunch of characters I had never seen before in my entire life. I didn't even know there was a Dungeons & Dragons cartoon in the 80s. I only learned about that through that 6-inch line. And that one's kind of interesting because they followed the animation look pretty closely. So it's sort of like Into the Spider-Verse or whatever, where it's kind of unique looking 6-inch action figures compared to all their other stuff. Because it has a style. I feel like a lot of Marvel 6-inch and other 6-inch, they don't really have a style. It's just it just looks
cool when they do, the Across the Spider-Verse ones and the Marvel Rivals ones. I know there's a couple duds for the Rivals, but the Punisher looks cool. And I just looked at the Spidey and Luna Snow pack at Target today, and I'm like, wow, that actually looks cool.
Yeah, they're following the style pretty closely on those. The Punisher especially really looks like the Punisher from that game with how beefy he is.
So it's a real shame that the D&D line didn't last, because I'm personally not a D&D guy. That's not my flavor of dorkism.
Yeah.
But I fully understand and acknowledge the absolute massive universe of Dungeons and Dragons and how many freaking toys they could have made from that.
Yeah,
and
for sure, all the monsters.
It's an in-house thing. Hasbro owns D&D.
Yeah, really.
They could have made that such a big thing. And I know my theory on why it failed was because of the freaking plastic-free packaging. Both those lines came out during the plastic-free era, and the freaking cartoon D&D figures, they came out on card backs, where instead of a bubble, it was just a cardboard box on the card.
Yeah.
It looked so freaking ugly. And those toys were all destined for Ollie's and Ross, and I still see them for dirt cheap some places. They just...
I'm of the opinion I think it fails no matter what. Maybe the cartoon ones don't fail as bad, but the movie ones, they had the issue where it's the characters look fine in the movie itself, but their costumes are not interesting enough to be justify the price of a 6-inch action figure.
I'm also just not sure how big the overlap is between D&D players and action figure collectors. I think they would want something that could be integrated into their D&D game. I think probably maybe a smaller scale would probably be more successful.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that overlap is probably big because I feel like a lot of nerds that are into nerdy stuff play D&D. That D&D is their side hobby to all their other nerdy hobbies.
I have met so many people that are just into D&D and they don't do action figures. Yeah, I've met so many. Because a lot of D&D I've seen more overlap with D&D and Gundam because of the model making and the painting.
Yeah.
And it's more of a game and a craft kind of hobby more than a collecting and action figure hobby.
All right.
So I think they're going to start doing blind boxes, if I'm not mistaken. There is going to be a new smaller action figure line coming out that was shown at SDCC.
I've seen some things called like questlings or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, those aren't
I think
action
that
figures.
Are
a little like miniature, like cartoony looking guys.
I think I might be more successful.
Yeah, I honestly I was looking at them and I was like, these are kind of cute. I kind of like these. I'm not even that into D&D, and I think they're kind of cool.
Because I think the broad spectrum of D&D, like there's a lot of people. If I had $1 for every time somebody has asked if I play D&D or would play D&D with them.
Yeah.
Like it's probably one of the most popular, like as soon as anybody clocks that you're a nerd of anything, they're like, yo, do you do D&D? Yeah. Like it's huge. It is, especially after Stranger Things. I've literally met people that are like, I watched Stranger Things and D&D seems so cool. Can you tell me about it? Like I've met people like that. So
that's interesting.
I'm surprised that there isn't like a 6-inch line of it. But I
don't think it need. I feel like if they did, if I'm in charge of Hasbro and I'm like, all right, I got Dungeons and Dragons as a property, I want to do a 6-inch line. Obviously, a smart idea would be tying it to some media that already exists, like a TV show, that cartoon or the movie. Like, I don't think that's a terrible idea, but I think the move would be to like just make a line that like adapts characters or classes. Not even like particular characters, like Orc Warrior would be a toy I would make. And maybe I give it a name or something, but the main draw of it would be like, he's an orc and he's a warrior. And that's something you can be in the game. So maybe like someone who plays an Orc Warrior would want that figure to have on their shelf or something. That would be my
I think that would be cool. And now that I thought about it, I do think there is one toy line that a lot of D&D people, well, maybe not a lot of D&D people, but D&D people that are interested in action figures, there is a line for that, and it's called Mythic Legions.
Right.
I
would do something like Mythic Legions, I guess. So Hasbro
and I think that could work. I think that could work. I would love to see Hasbro try D&D again.
Yeah.
Not for a personal interest of my own, but because I think it could be successful. They need to try it again without the stupid, ugly plastic-free packaging.
Yeah.
They need to do it they just need to try it. Just put it out there, see how it goes.
Yeah.
You failed so many times already. What's one?
Might as well. Especially for a property they own. Like, they don't have to license it. They can just do that and try it. Obviously, there's a lot of moving parts there, and trying a toy line is probably, like, if you're, like, actually in the industry, you're probably rolling your eyes at the even concept of that, but, like,
yeah, we know there's so many nuances that we just can't.
Yeah, for a podcast conversation, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're not like toy industry people, we're just fans and collectors. But from our perspective, I think Dungeons and Dragons could have a cool toy line.
Yeah.
But moving on, we have Indiana Jones, the Adventure Series.
Oh, this one breaks my heart.
This one, I saw the first wave, and I was like at this point, I was so jaded by Hasbro, I was like, all right, see you in 3 ways. You're done. You're
That's
like
literally what happened.
Yeah.
You clocked that, dude.
Yeah, like I could just tell, like, sorry, man. G.I. Joe. Indiana Jones is not going to carry like an entire 6-inch line for that long. And they definitely had characters they could have made. They could have made a Mutt Williams. I don't think they ever made one of him, right?
They never touched Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, which I think that's so annoying. Like, I don't think that's like the best movie ever, but like,
it's better than Dial of Destiny.
I didn't even watch that one.
It's so bad.
But it's like, and like, now there's a Indiana Jones video game that came out a bit ago. I'm sure they could have done figures of that.
Oh, like, I've heard that's great. I want to play that.
I've heard it's good. So it's like, I feel like Indiana Jones could have been something, but again, it's like you're coasting off nostalgia for a trilogy of movies from 20 years ago. It's like, I'm sorry, it's just not gonna work. Like, for a long-lasting line, it's just not happening.
I mean, it works for Star Wars, but Star Wars is its own freaking
Star Wars
monster.
Keeps going, though. Like, there's been a couple more Indiana Jones, but past that, like, I mean, they could have dipped into, like, Indiana Jones, a TV show, I guess, or something. But again, there's just not strong enough nostalgia there. And a lot of their 6-inch lines rely heavily on nostalgia. If it's not a new property, it's relying so hard on nostalgia. Ghostbusters, nostalgia. Dungeons and Dragons, nostalgia. Even Power Rangers is nostalgia at this point. So, like, yeah, I could just tell it's not gonna win. And those figures look good. Like the indie from that line looks really good. I don't know about many other characters from it, but the indie looked really good. I feel like for a lot of these lines, they could have just done like a toy line equivalent to like a mini series. Like just release 4 Indiana Jones figures, the most popular characters. Do Indy, do Marion, do whoever, and then that's done. You're done with the line. There's no expectation of anything going further. Like, you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of the issues with these lines is that people don't want to invest in a toy line that they know is going to end. But if they know it's a limited series in the first place, it's like, all right, I'll pick up the 4 figures. That's all you're going to make. Like, why not? I don't know. I just don't understand.
For me personally, Indiana Jones is so near and dear to me, especially The Last Crusade. Seriously, a top 5 all-time movie for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of my all-time favorites.
Sean Connery.
And, oh yeah, my favorite character from Indiana Jones.
He's great. I love him.
I literally got his freaking sideshow figure.
Oh, like, really?
Wow. I love Henry Jones Sr. He's such a cool character.
Yeah.
And I was excited for the Adventure series, but I told myself going in, I'm only collecting Last Crusade. Right. And I have all the Last Crusade figures. And I don't regret it. They're freaking awesome, incredible figures. But the thing is, obviously Indiana Jones is not an evergreen brand. It's not. As much as I wish it was more popular, it's not.
No. Like, not even close.
The 3 3/4 inch line only came out because of Kingdom, and this line only came out because of Dial.
Yeah.
And I feel like this freaking line, they could have, number one, plastic-free packaging. That's always going to hurt action figures. People do not want to buy figures they can't see. Yeah. But number 2, they should have just freaking done like one more freaking wave, dude. At least one more.
Yeah. Like
there's just a few characters that they just could have freaking put in there. Like, especially for Last Crusade, like we didn't get a Sala and we didn't get a Marcus. And it's just like, come on. Like and Last Crusade like was so close to having a full amazing cast, except for like a couple characters. And I don't know, I feel like they just could have kept it going a little bit longer, but I just don't think, and it could have been a super awesome comprehensive line, but the sales just weren't there. And they did some odd character selection. Like they canceled Mola Ram because apparently Disney decided that the Temple of Doom villains were racist. They canceled Mola Ram, and Lego canceled their Temple of Doom set.
Yeah, that sounds like a Disney decision. That
it's not the Slave One anymore. It's Boba Fett Starship. It's a shame that, like, imagine having a freaking line of characters without the main villain. Like, so many odd choices with that line. And I think that's one of the reasons why some of these Hasbro lines do fail, because they make so many weird choices with character selection. Mm-hmm. Where it's
character selection is some of the biggest issue to me. Like,
yeah, like, why are we? They were so close to nailing it with Last Crusade, and I'm happy with what we got. But especially Temple and no Kingdom of the Crystal Skull figures, not a single one. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And like Dial of Destiny, like, I think they were banking on that movie being good, and it just was not. No one cared about any of the new characters.
It was a gamble. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there being absolutely no conversation whatsoever.
It's so bad. I know there's some very long video essays on that movie on YouTube that are longer than the movie itself, describing just how bad it is in detail.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that either.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that has those essays. Mm-hmm. It's that level of bad.
Here's one that we can kind of do a twofer here. Overwatch and Fortnite. Two at the time extremely about to shit out my ass.
You can't say bad words on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, I've never said a bad word on the podcast.
Dude, my filter's on. I'm locked in. I'm not saying a bad word.
Okay. I got Overwatch and Fortnite. So I feel like those should have been slam dunks. Like, Overwatch especially, they did that when Overwatch was still popular, and those figures were really freaking cool. Like, the Reinhardt was awesome. The Lucio had, like, cool effects to go on his skates. Like, those were really cool figures, and...
They were.
I don't know why, like, maybe they just didn't sell. Because, like, I assume if they sell, you know, the line keeps going, right? Like, that seems to be a reasonable line of logic to have, so... I don't really know why they didn't do all that well. Maybe I think there must be some correlation between like these video game series and action figures for them doing poorly, because
it might just be an overlap of like a lot of people that collect figures play video games, but not a lot of people that play video games collect figures. It might be one of those things.
It must be, because like why does Fortnite fail? Fortnite, in my opinion, they had some weird character choices. Like, off rip, they had weird character choices. They didn't do a Peely because, I mean, so Jazzwares had the Fortnite license first, and they were doing their own 6-inch, 7-inch figure line.
The Jazzwares line was goated, dude.
Yeah, it was good. And I think Hasbro feared, like, putting out characters that Jazzwares already did. So that first wave, it didn't have a Peely. And I'm gonna be honest, they should have done a Peely. It doesn't matter that they did a Peely in the Jazzwares line before. This was a brand new line. People who didn't collect Jazzwares before, but heard about Hasbro acquiring the license like a year beforehand, were probably waiting. Probably not picking up Jazzwares stuff, because, you know, why would you pick up Jazzwares when Hasbro's taking it over? And there were probably plenty of people, like myself, that wanted a Peely figure from this line, and they didn't do a normal one. As far as I know, they only ever did a tuxedo Peely, which is crazy because Peely is like probably the most popular character from Fortnite. Think so, yeah. Like the most popular original character.
Maybe also Dwayne The Rock Johnson, actually.
Well, they started off the line with that character, the
Foundation, right? When that is
the Foundation, yeah, which was like very expensive from what I recall, like a very expensive action figure.
Yeah, it was like one of those like, it was like the first edition Age of Extinction Optimus, where it was like just a basic like leader class, but they charged like $60 instead. Yeah, just because screw you. Like they did that with the Foundation.
Yeah,
and it's like okay,
and they started off like a pretty boring first wave, in my opinion. Like I picked up the best character from that first wave, which was the blue goopy guy. I don't remember his name, but I had him, and he was really cool. And like besides that, they had Meowscles, which is a buff cat guy, which I also think is funny. I can't remember if he came like as a singleton figure or if you could only get him with like his weights or something like that. Like I was really I was looking forward to it, and like when the first wave came out, I was like, these just don't feel worth it. They don't feel like, you know, and they were hard to find, of course, because it was a new 6-inch line. So
yeah, I ended up buying one. It was like some like Roman gladiator guy with like a skull mask.
Yeah, I kind of remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I opened it up from its plastic-free packaging, and I was like, dude, this sucks. Like all the gold was like that dull, swirly plastic.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this doesn't even like feel cool. Like it's not cool.
Are those?
And that was like one of the last figures that came out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I think I know what you're talking about. And they did some cool, like they did the boat, which was cool, and they did like the loot shark, and like, but also a lot of the stuff they did was super overpriced. Like they did these gliders that were like $27 a glider or something. Like I don't know if Fortnite just had a crazy licensing fee or Hasbro was just like, Fortnite's the most popular thing ever. We're going to price this shit as high as we possibly can.
Probably a nice mix of both.
Yeah. So, like, as cool as some of the stuff was, like, it never looked even remotely worth it. And that was back then, before, like, the inflation and tariffs and stuff got way out of control. So, like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me that
and
y'all
something else, too,
that
that they didn't do, and I don't recall either line doing it. They didn't make the figure you bought, like, they didn't give you a code for the skin.
They didn't give you anything, no.
Like, that would have been such a great... you could have raised the price probably a little bit.
Yeah.
And that would have been a great selling tactic.
Add a skin in there.
that would have gotten people to play the game more involved in the toy line, like Skylanders or something.
Yeah, or like make a unique character design and then add that to the game with the code you get in the box.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Like, that'd be so cool. But like, there was just no creativity. You know, I don't know. Like, that line is such a, to me, that's one of their worst failures. Is that Fortnite line? I was playing around with doing a video called like the failure of Fortnite or something.
Especially with how great the Jazzwares line was. Like, they had old Toy Biz designers on that, dude. Like, it was...
They had, like, the bendy toes and fingers and stuff.
Yeah, I have the Cyclo, which is my absolute favorite, like, Fortnite character design. He's, like, this golden guy with, like, essentially, like, a storm brewing in his, like, dome helmet. He's got, like, a gas mask. It's so sick. Tesla coils on his back and everything. And that figure was so freaking awesome. And then just go into, like, the Hasbro stuff, and it's like, oh, it's a big guy in a white suit with a hockey mask on. Okay.
Yeah, they're like, Fortnite admittedly is hit or miss with their designs a lot for me, but like, they chose almost all misses for their figures.
I feel like they did.
And going back to, you know, me complaining about G.I. Joe 3 3/4 inch, Jazzwares for a while was holding down the 3 3/4 inch, like, G.I. Joe fandom with their Fortnite line. Like,
yeah, I got some of those.
Yeah, they're great. I have Peely. He's awesome.
I think I have a figure named Vertex. He's like this red looking like robot suit guy. And he looks and feels like something that came straight out of like G.I. Joe Valor vs. Venom.
Yeah.
And I love that. And there's a few others I have.
I never got super into them because, you know, they don't have the lore like G.I. Joe has. You can't get invested in the characters really, but I mean, I don't think so anyway. Fortnite experts, please fill me in if I'm wrong. But
I think there's like a pretty loose storyline with each new season, as far as I know.
Yeah, but like each character probably doesn't have like a whole, you know, story for them. Like Cyclo probably doesn't have any story.
Probably not.
But like those figures, if you were a fan of G.I. Joe 3 3/4 inch, you were probably buying some of those because like that's all you had.
Mm-hmm.
Transformers Red line. That's gotta be. Come on, That's
gotta be one of the biggest flops.
Such a flop. First of all, it was Walmart exclusive. Which I don't know if they even outwardly said it was Walmart exclusive.
I think they did.
It was. Yeah, but it didn't have like stuff on the box, and it never said like exclusive at Walmart, which
they don't
never
do that
do
much anymore. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but the red line was really weird because, you know, people talk about gummy Hasbro plastic, and for the most part, any stuff I've bought, it's been pretty solid. Like I've never really ran into that. I'm sure if you collect a lot, you do, but that stuff, those figures. All I know about those figures is that they have weird gummy plastic. Like, they just look gummy. Like, when you look at them on the screen, you can tell they look strange.
Let me tell you the story of my robot enhanced design Transformers Prime
yeah,
Megatron.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
So, this Megatron, like, I got it out of the box, and this thing was already, like, a weird floopy mess. Like, it would do a little dance if I shook it.
Yeah.
Super ugly, dull gray plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, let's articulate this thing. And I started moving his right shoulder. And I'm like, oh, so far so good. And then I realized this thing was so gummy, I was not moving the ball in the socket. I was twisting the stem that the ball was on.
Bruh.
Like a freaking licorice stick.
Yeah.
And I stopped myself before I broke it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. This is that bad.
That's crazy.
And it currently, I'm going to get rid of it. It currently just lives in a drawer, just waiting for me to get rid of it somehow.
Yeah.
The Optimus sucked. Pretty much the only good robot enhanced design figures that I personally got that I really liked. The RC from Transformers Prime was actually really cool.
I feel like
she scales with the third party DLX style Bumblebee and Optimus perfectly.
Really? Yeah,
like that's so cool.
I feel like they did a good job on those. Really, they do. That's right. I think they did a great job on those Prime ones. I'm sure the plastic is still like kind of bad, but
the Megs and Prime are pretty bad. But the Knockout and RC were good.
I mean, the Megs and Prime aren't like amazing, but for the time, you didn't really have any other options. So like getting those characters again, like actually looking like themselves compared to, you know, the toys or whatever. Like I don't know.
But they didn't even look that good. Like the RC looked pretty good. They added a lot of her detail, like nice likeness. The Knockout looked kind of like he was just dull red plastic. It didn't have that nice red sheen. Like Knockout's all about his paint deco.
Right.
And the figure had no deco.
Right. Yeah.
The only other RED figure that I genuinely really like is the Galvatron. That one, for whatever reason, it was one of the last ones they made.
Yeah.
And it just was good. Like, it was a good freaking, like, robot replica Megatron. Like, it was good.
It only lasted, like, 3 waves, right?
Yeah, and almost all the figures are totally worthless now. Like, they did Optimus Primal and Cheetor right alongside the Kingdom releases.
Yeah.
Like, which one are you going to freaking buy?
Bizarre choice, yeah.
Yeah. And they had a lot of odd character choices, too. So many odd ones. Yeah, that line was, I'm so happy that's dead. And I'm so happy we have Blockies and especially YOLO Park now for, like, the true robot replica for us. Especially YOLO Park AMK. Like, those are, like, $30 figures. Almost the same price as the RED figures. And those are so freaking good for the price.
I feel like those red figures for the fandom almost soured the idea of non-transforming Transformers for a while.
Yeah.
They're like, if they're gonna be like that, then I don't even want it. And a lot of people are like that, but
I think that was where Hasbro, pure speculation, realized we can't make this shit. We can't make them good.
Yeah.
We just need to pawn off the non-transforming to other companies. Blockies, you make awesome blind boxes. YOLO Park, you make awesome robot replicas. Super 7, you just be Super 7.
It almost doesn't. It doesn't make sense for Hasbro to do it because then they're competing with themselves, and having those other companies that are more niche that only fans are gonna like real fans, not kids in the toy aisle, are gonna see. Like, I think that makes more sense overall.
Yeah, for sure.
A couple more. We got starting lineup, which I think that one failed after a single wave. They were going for like the sports fan market, which starting lineup is an old like toy line, an old sports toy line, so they reuse that name. But from what I remember, it was only basketball characters, players. Like LeBron James and other people that I definitely know. They
were apparently going to branch out past the MLB for starting lineup. Yeah. But it was just such a massive failure because obviously a lot of these players have intricate tattoos, and where WWE and Mattel can replicate them for the wrestlers, Hasbro was like, that's too expensive. So they just didn't give these people, these real people, their tattoos.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
So that was a big accuracy problem. And number 2, these things were like $40 each.
Yeah, they were expensive.
Because they gave them freaking NFTs.
What?
I
don't remember that at all.
Each starting lineup figure came with a freaking NFT. Because they knew this was during the NFT era, where like NFTs are the new hot thing. We're gonna do NFTs.
Yeah.
There's sports NFTs already. We're gonna put them with our starting lineups. And dude, no one bought this shit. No one bought them. Literally on Hasbro Pulse, they advertised like new lower price, and it wasn't even a sale. They just literally lowered the price. And that just goes to show how high Hasbro's profit margins are, that they're just able to just lower the price like that. Like they gouge us a lot more than I think people realize.
This news article is great. Remember starting lineup NBA action figures? They're back with NFTs. And they were $50 toys that included NFT
yeah, that's
cards.
what it was. They started at $50, and then I think they lowered them to $40.
Yeah.
I think it's what it was. And then they ended up all over, like, Ollie's and Ross and whatever. I never found any, interestingly. I would have picked one up out of curiosity if I had found one, but I never found one.
The one thing I wish I found was they did a, so all the starting lineup ones seem to come with, like, stands, which is cool. It's kind of neat, but they did a, like, basketball hoop, and that also came with a stand, so you could, like, have your basketball player dunk. And it would have been so cool to get one of those and just, like, have Spider-Man dunk or whatever. Like, that's just a cool accessory to have.
Yeah.
Past, like, the starting lineup brand or whatever. But yeah, this was such a utter and total failure in so many ways.
And ironically, you know who has sports action figures again?
Who?
McFarlane.
McFarlane?
Yeah. Walk into a Target that has the new reset, and they have a whole section for McFarlane sports figures again, right next to WWE.
Well, I hope that goes well for them.
They look good. Like, I'm hoping they do a Cincinnati Bengals one, because I want to rep. You know, I'm not a big sports guy, but I mean, I'm a Cincinnati guy. I love repping the Bengals because they're just a cool aesthetic of a team. They're never going to win a Super Bowl, but you know, they're cool. I like repping my local. Like, I'm hoping they do a Transformer one. I'd love to see a figure of it, and I was hoping to see, like, the starting lineup line from Hasbro continue for, like, Cincinnati Reds, Bengals, but it never made it past, you know. No. I said MLB before. That's Major League Baseball.
Yeah, we're a toy podcast. So.
Yeah, it's the NBA for basketball. My bad. I'm not even a fan. I was about to say I'm a fake fan. I'm not even a fan. So
the last thing we need to talk about is the Tron toy line. And this one hurt a lot of people in my Discord server anyways. People were so excited about Tron.
Yeah.
And they announced these. First of all, they're based on Tron Legacy, that movie from 2011. Instead of, like, the classic one or the newest one, they chose Legacy, which I guess makes sense.
They just dodged Jared Leto.
They dodged it. They Matrix dodged that shit.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even try. But they announced these things, they showed them off, and I think there was sort of an understanding that this would be another line, like a proper line. But instead, since that movie flopped and then Tron interest somehow feels like it's even lower than before that movie came out, I think they made the call that we're not going to put this out on store shelves. We're going to do a Hasbro Pulse drop, basically, of a, like, 3-pack of characters and then the light cycle. And that's what they're doing. And that's, if you want those Tron figures, you got to pre-order them there. I don't think you're going to see them in stores. I could be wrong on that.
I don't think so. I think it's just Pulse.
But yeah, that is kind of crazy to me that, like, it's interesting because we've been talking about how they keep doing, like, Indiana Jones, Dungeons and Dragons. They do these movie toy lines, and they line them up with the movie, but this time they didn't have it lined up with the movie, and the movie flopped. So this is what happens, I guess, when that like, the pre-flop happens.
Yeah, here's the final culmination of what all these 6-inch flop lines has turned into. Just a pure failure right out the gate, where they're just like, we're just gonna put this out on Pulse, overpriced, of course. I think it's like over $100 for 3 figures.
It's $140 for 4 figures.
Holy
guacamole! I don't know the math on that, but it feels like too much.
$35 a figure. That's $35 a figure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, they look fine. Like, I think the Tron looking ones look cool. One of them is just old Jeff Bridges, which, has its appeal. But
yeah. You know that meme from Tron?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Dude, have you not seen Tron Legacy?
It's been a long time.
There's a scene where, like, Jeff Bridges is talking to Jeff Bridges, and I think it's old Jeff Bridges just goes, "Yeah," and it's so freaking funny, dude.
And the light cycle is $100.
Oh, dude. Okay, flashback for my Hasbro Star Wars peeps. Do you remember back in 2010 when $100 could get you a freaking AT-AT? Now it gets you a light cycle. Bruh, that's where we're at.
And I mean, again, it looks cool, but bruh, not $100 cool.
Major bruh moment.
Huge bruh moment. So
mega huge.
I mean, I guess the whole point of this podcast was just to go through like all of Hasbro's failed 6-inch figures, talk about that a bit. I think that's what we did here today. I think
mission
we said all we
accomplished.
need to say. Yeah, mission accomplished, man.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts? Because I think I'm mentally fried.
So, kids, what did we learn? We learned that Hasbro, they try and they just can't break away from those few things that they still find success in, and somehow G.I. Joe managed to break through. Somehow. Well, it broke through because the figures are freaking awesome, and it appealed to the wider collector space rather than the people that are just niche fans of the specific brand they were making.
Yeah. The figures are awesome, creative. They're not just remakes of old figures. Like, they have appeal to people who have never collected G.I. Joe before.
They make original characters in that line. Like, classifieds, it's like, boom, here's this original character. Aren't they cool? It's like, heck yeah, they're cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, maybe one day I will start collecting G.I. Joe classified, because maybe I just need to put away my 3 3/4 inch bias. They're never gonna make them again.
I think you just need to do. Yeah. You just need to do what I do and just pick out just a few that are really freaking cool.
Yeah.
And just have fun with those. Mm-hmm. I love the small collection of like about a dozen that I have. Yeah. And one thing too, they're doing the like standard just like military and service people. I have just a 6-inch police officer and a 6-inch firefighter. I got my Batman display.
I got one on sale. I think
I have the officer next to my Commissioner Gordon, and it's so freaking cool to have a cop that can go with my Batman collection.
It's like those NPC figures we saw from SDCC. Like,
yeah.
Like they can just go in scenes and stuff. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think there's hope for Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think there's hope for the Zelda line because I do think they look really mid, and I think Hasbro's going to ruin it somehow.
I disagree. I think the Zelda ones look pretty good. Like, I think the Zelda looks mid because that design is bad and it's going to shelf warm crazy. But like, the Ganondorf looks really cool, and that Link looks good. I don't know what you're on about. They look mid. Like, what are they supposed to look like?
I think it's the faces where Hasbro just really struggles with the faces when it's not the print. They couldn't do like the print technology really on those like cartoony faces.
Yeah.
So they just, I don't know.
They don't come with alternate heads, do they?
Yeah. I don't think they do.
Dude, I got the Shaggy. Good. The Jada Shaggy. And that figure's so freaking cool, man.
Shout out to Ron Bondujan.
Shout out Ron Bon.
Shout out that Ron Bon.
For putting us on game with that. Like, you could get Zelda, no extra face, for, $28, or you could spend $3 extra, get yourself a Shaggy. He's so articulated, you can make him fight people. It'd be funny as hell. But,
I think overall, the final verdict is that Jaded Toys should just get the license to everything. I think that's what the final verdict should be. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it, though. That's pretty much it.
I'm ready to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We don't ask that enough, and we really should be asking it more towards the beginning of the show.
Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Check out our social media if you have a chance. Check us out on other podcasting platforms. We don't have
social media.
Check out... neither of us do, but that's okay. Check out our Come On shirt. Super amazing shirt. Come on. You gotta wear this shirt, bro. We need to figure out some more merch. We need to get one of...
More merch? We barely have sold anything of this merch,
We need to get We need to get merch of Andy from Toy Story dropping a Domino's pizza.
Nobody is gonna buy that, bro.
I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
So we're basically just making shirts for ourselves at a certain point.
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, you know what? I'm down. But thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please check us out on Spotify and other platforms if you listen on those, because we're there as well. And may the force be with you.
Yeah, bye.